everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to look at a stock called ContextLogic, and if you look at this particular chart, it actually has been doing very badly. So it has been on a downtrend recently, for very long, not recently, for very long, but only recently it started to move up. So what do you think about this particular chart? So if you analyze this chart, what would you tell me? So is it a good time to buy this chart because it started to move up? So do you think it's going to go for uptrend? Or it's just a fake thing that no, we can't rely on? What do you think? So think about it. I'm going to start discussing about this particular chart. This is Shah&Co. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel for a detailed analysis about this particular counter. See you soon. Okay, so now we're going to analyze this particular stock, which is ContextLogic. And if you look at this particular chart at the very first instance, when you start to draw this particular trend line, your hands must be very itchy to start to buy this stock because it has crossed the trend line, and this basically has gone up and trying to retrace down. This is the best time to enter and all that. So some of the investing gurus might have taught you this, and your hands must be very itchy to start to buy. But I want to bring you to different angle of a few other different angles of analysis for us to really understand whether this has break the particular downtrend and has it gone uptrend. So this is what we want to find out in this particular analysis. Or is this a fake move? That's going to be really bad thing, right? So if it's a fake move, right? So we're going to analyze this thing in very detail. So let's begin. So first I'm going to remove off that trend line. We'll come to it in a while. Okay, now if you look at this, it's actually on a downtrend. The high is getting lower, and then the high is even getting lower. The low is getting even lower and lower, and here is lower, right? So this signifies that this particular chart is an uptrend, except for this period, except for this recent period where it started to move, making a higher high. So now let's study the past first, what the psychological or sentiment is telling in this particular chart. Okay, so we're going to take this ruler. I want to see first, I'm going to analyze how is the strength, what is the strength of this downfall. Okay, so we will take from the high to the low here, and take note, it has fallen by $17.73. If you can't remember, you can jot it down. So it has fallen, I put it for short, $17. Okay, it has fallen for $17. Then in the second round, so then it retraces up, right? Then it falls again. So in the second round, it fall about $8, 8.6. So I would say that, okay, so let me try to draw some direction here. Okay, so from 17 it went to 8.6, sorry. Okay, so it went to 8.6. Okay, so that is the current move. So let me put it to here. Okay, then there's a third round of selling here. So it retraces up, and then there's a third round of selling. So we're going to measure this third round of selling as well. So from the high to the low, this is a bit difficult to look at because I can't really draw precisely, so I'm just going to invert it. So you just have to take from the low here, and then we go all the way to up, and then we just invert the sign. So it's about 7.9. okay, so roughly it is 7.9. okay, so let me jot it down. It's going to be 7.9. okay, so what does it tell you? So what can you conclude from this particular strength analysis? Do you see that the price difference is actually shrinking from 17, about 17 to 8.6 and 7.9? So basically it's telling us that the strength of this downfall is actually shrinking. So basically it doesn't have strength. So the downfall itself from $17 something to $8 something to $7 or nearing to $8. So it's actually shrinking in the strength. So that's the first conclusion you can make. So the next thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at the power of this downfall. Does it have any more power to continue to fall? We know the strength is shrinking, but does it have any power for it to continue to go down? Okay, so sometimes you need to see it as a weightlifter. So the weightlifter may have strength and all that, but does he have got the strength to like pull 200 kilograms or 250 kilograms? No. So it doesn't mean your body is big and strength means you have that power to pull up, right? So we still need to study here. Even though the strength here is weakening, we still need to see whether the power is there for it to go continue lower. So now how do we study this power? We will look at we will use Fibonacci tool, retracement tool. So let's take from the high here to all the way to down here. Okay, so I'm gonna enable all my Fibonacci levels. Okay, give me a minute. So I'm gonna enable all my Fibonacci levels here. Okay, so the levels are shown here. So you can see that the price has been falling. The sellers were in action, so they've been selling, and then the buyer comes in, and the buy all the way to. So you can see from the low here, it moved up by 23%, 23.6. We can roughly, because the high here almost reaching like 25. So we can say that because we look at the highs, not the close of the body of the candlestick, but we look at the high of the candlestick. Okay, it's roughly like 25% up move. So we're going to jot it down. So in terms of power, in the first round it has got the strength to go up for 25%. So the buyers managed to pull it up by 25%. Okay, so now we're going to compare that with the next. Okay, so we're going to take the high here and then bring it all the way to low here. In the second round, the pull, the buyers actually getting more powerful. They're getting more power, you see. So in the past they buyed about 25% up, but this time they buyed about 38%. So it's about 38%. So we're going to jot it down, 38. Okay, so let me jot it down. It's like 38%. So they have the strength to pull up the price for 38%. Okay, so I'll draw this arrow. Okay, then the last round we will see how much did the buy. Oh, this one is really fantastic. So the buyers are really powerful. This time they managed to pull it up by more than 80%. You see, it has crossed the 78.6. So I would say it's like 85% or even 90%. No, I would say it's like their strength like 90% strength on these buyers. Okay, so I'll actually put it up here, 90%. Okay, so these are the techniques you can learn and you can use in your trading analysis. Okay, I'll put this arrow again here. And now we're going to look at this strength of the buyers. So in the first round, they were only having like 25% of strength. In the second round, they managed to push up by 38%. In the last round, they managed a very strength. They really have power enough to pull up by 90%. So in other words, the power to pull down is shrinking because there are more powers to pull it up. Therefore, the power to pull down is shrinking. So what we can conclude now is first the strength is weakening, the power also weakening. So both the strength weakening, the power also weakening means it's a very strong indication that the downfall is going to end. The downfall, this particular downfall is going to end. Okay. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to analyze the pattern. We're going to do a bit of pattern analysis. We know that this is the strength is weakening. We know the power is actually also diminishing. And now next we just want to consolidate further our analysis. We want to look at some patterns. This pattern that we're going to look at in this chart is what we call the head of gangster. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this first round of fall to three parts. I'm going to put it into three layers. So this is the first layer, the second. You can use the Fibonacci retracement and just divide it by 3. So I have each of these 33%. So we have 3 layers here. and identify where the head of gangster is located. So what do we mean by head of gangster? Head of gangster is the candlestick body that is the widest. So among all the candlesticks that we have in the first round, which one is the widest? I'm sure you can see in just by naked eye, we can see that this is the widest body, right? So it's quite long, right? This particular downfall candlestick is quite wide, very long, right? So the widest among all these in the first round of the fall is the head of the gangster. So, and the head of gangster fall in the first level. Among the three levels here, it falls in the first level. When we say it falls on the first level, that means it still have got strength to continue to fall. Okay, so when it goes to second level, then we say the strength has diminished a bit, and then on the third level is where it's totally weak, and we can expect a kind of turnaround very soon. Okay, but anyway, we have, this is only the first round. During the first round, we notice that the head of gangster is on the first level, first layer, or rather first level. Now we'll apply the same technique on the second round of sell-off. This is the second round of sell-off. In the second round of sell-off, we notice that there are two wide candlestick, red candlestick. There are two of them. They are actually, I measured them. Both of them are equal in width. So we will pick the first one, and it is actually in between the first level and second level. Okay, this is the first. We have three levels, right, in our Fibonacci levels. So we use three levels here. So we will look at the candle here. The candle is in between the first and the second. We need to look closer. So if you look closer, you notice that most of the body of the candle fall on the second level. Okay, and therefore we will conclude that the head of gangster is located in the second level. In the first round, the head of gangster located in the first level, the top level. The second round, the head of gangster located in the middle level. Now we look at the third level now. Third sell-off round. So during the third sell-off round, we can see that it gone all the way here. When we divide it to three rounds, so we have the three rounds there, right? So which one is the longest candlestick, candle body, I would say? Which one is the longest, having longest candle body? Is definitely this one, right, down here. This one, right? This is the longest one. And you notice that it is actually located on the third level, or the bottom level. So the first round is located in the first level. In the second round, we somehow concluded that it's located in the second level. And in the third round of sell-off, the head of gangster is located in the third round. So basically, it suggests to us, when it is on the top level, it still have got strength to continue to sell off. And when during the second sell-off, the head of gangster is located in the second round, still got some strength, still can continue. But the fact is, the power of the sellers actually diminish somewhat. It agrees to our conclusion that we did earlier when we did Fibonacci analysis, only that now we are using a head of gangster pattern to do the analysis. In the third round here, the head of gangster, the wide body of the sell-off is located in the third level, and that's the level where it's easy for any buyers to come in and overcome that amount of sellers, so that they can actually win the or rather the sentiment in the market. And that's exactly what's happening here. These particular buyers managed to pull up, winning over this particular candlestick, or rather, this candlestick pattern. So this particular head of gangster here is already won over by these buyers. They managed to pull it up, and that is a good indication. That means the downfall is completely over. So just now we just said that the downfall, or rather the downtrend, is weakening, and then it has no power. But now with the pattern analysis here, we can conclude for definite sure that most likely 100% or 99%, I would say, that the downtrend is over, because of this particular buyers managed to pull over these particular sellers. This is the head of the gangster. They managed to win over them. Okay, so that's a positive sign. That basically in the analysis tells us that there's a win over. The buyers managed to win over the sellers, and therefore we can say that the downtrend is over. And now we need to analyze. Now I'm going to clear my chart, Okay, so one thing we have concluded now is the downtrend is over. Next thing is it now in uptrend? So okay, so now we want to see whether this particular trend is on an uptrend, because it managed to win over the downtrend. So is it now telling us that it is in an uptrend? That's what we want to analyze. Okay, to do the analysis, I'm gonna use this particular tool, Fibonacci, trend-based Fibonacci. So I'm gonna take this low and then that high. I'm gonna just use immediate past to just estimate project the price. Okay, so if you look at this immediate buy, so we're going to use the time domain analysis now. We're going to use time domain analysis. Immediate past downfall here. This is the last round of fall, right? We're going to analyze this last round of fall. Okay, if you analyze this last round of fall, the buyers here, they took short amount of time compared to the sellers. The sellers took longer amount of time, right? So there are lesser number of days occupied here to buy, and there are more number of days occupied to do the selling. So in this arts analysis, what basically it tells us, the sellers are taking very long to do the selling, the buyers are stronger, therefore there's a potential for the price to push up all the way to level 1.618. okay, so when the buyer sentiment is stronger, the seller sentiment, because seller is taking very long to pull it down, buyer took short time to pull it up. You can see my mouse pointer here. Buyers took short time to pull it up, but the sellers here, they took longer time to pull it down, right? So in the sentiment analysis, right, this tells us that the sellers are having less sentiment. Okay, the sentiment of the sellers has gone low, and sentiment of the buyers still strong. So that's basically the time domain analysis. Okay, and therefore, according to the theory, we need to use level 1. That's the price projection. It's gonna, when it fall all the way down here, it has the ability to go up to 1.618 level, and in fact that is reached here. So you can see that the pull up here, once it went down here and then it pulled up, right, managed to pull up all the way to level 1.618. So that means our target is achieved. Okay, the high target is achieved. Okay, now we want to look at the low target. So the high target achieved is a positive indication that it might go into a high, what you call uptrend. So when the high target is achieved, it indicates to us that it may go to an uptrend. But we also need to specify a down target and see whether the down target also achieved or not. So to do the down target analysis, what we will do is, again, we use the same Fibonacci tool, but this round we take from the high to the low and to the high here, Okay, now you look here, the sellers are selling and they took very long time. And the buyer took very short time to pull it up. Okay, the buyers took short time to pull it up. So the buyers are quite strong, the sellers are quite weak. So therefore, to predict the downfall, we have to be a bit conservative. So we will, according to theory, we will use level 0.618. So because the buyers are more higher in sentiment compared to the sellers, so in the next downfall, we will say that the downfall may go all the way to level 0.618. Exactly now, so you see it's going down, went up, then pulled down to level 618, 0.6. Exactly, it hit that, right? Okay, last week, last Friday, it hit that. Okay, now that means it hit both our high target, it also hit our down target. Okay, so then what does it mean? When it hits high target, it means its likelihood is on a high uptrend. When it hits the down target, it means it's going to be a downtrend. So now it hit both of that. According to theory, it means that it is on a sideways. It's going to be on a sideways pattern. Because it hit both the high target as well as the low target, it's going to go to the sideways trend. So don't be very bullish on this particular counter, ContextLogic, because even though on chart based, what you call chart pattern analysis, I mean, I will bring the chart pattern again. So some of you like very much chart pattern analysis. So the chart pattern analysis is very fantastic. This is a trend line. It managed to go up beyond that particular trend line. There's a very positive indication. It might be on a, some of you may be very bullish that okay, it's going to go on uptrend, but actually no. When we do a detailed analysis, the analysis is telling us that because it has the ability to hit both the high target as well as the low target, therefore it's going to go on a sideways. Okay, so I do expect that this particular move or this particular context logic is going to move sideways for time being. Maybe after that it may go up, it may go down. We need to wait for further data before we do further analysis. And some of you may be a bit some of you may be very optimistic and they may not believe what I'm saying. But let me bring you to this chart. This is now in the day chart. I'm going to bring you to weekly chart. Do you see the weekly chart? Look at the weekly chart here. It's still very much in a downtrend, you see. This particular move up there has not even, if I were to draw a trend line using a weekly chart, in other words. So let me draw a trend line. So I'll just use the immediate, I'll connect the immediate lines. Okay. This is the immediate lines. I connect all the high points here, immediate high points. So 1, 2, okay, so only two, okay. So I try to draw and 3. There's another point here. So there are 3 high points here. I connected them, and surprisingly, the closing of your of the candlestick here has not gone beyond that particular trend line. It's still below the trend line. So if you look at the day chart and you're very bullish on it, please go look at the look at the bigger picture, go to the weekly chart. You wouldn't see that. So our analysis tells us that it might go into a sideways pattern first. Okay. So what do you think about this analysis? Do you agree or disagree? Tell me your opinion. Do you learn something new? I mean, I use some of the techniques. I use the strength analysis. I use the power analysis. I also use some pattern head of gangsters, and also. And what do you find about this analysis? I mean, these are the analysis available outside there. We use that to analyze our chart here, and this is what conclusion I get. It says that it's going to be on a sideways. Okay, so do share me your comments, and also do hit the subscribe button. I'm going to put up more analysis of this nature. I'm going to look at many other charts, and I'm going to give my view. This is just my view. You may agree or disagree. That's fine. But the most important thing, do you learn something new? And maybe you can use this particular analysis technique in your chart or in your counter and see if it gives any fruitful kind of investment profits. Okay, I wish you good luck in your in your investment adventure, and I hope you make a lot of money, and also continue coming back and look at my channel. Subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. You'll get always updated. I'll do a lot of stock analysis, and you're gonna get a lot of information. What is the recent I'm going to look at most recent stocks which are actually kind of famous in the US stock markets, and I'm going to analyze them, and I'm sure you're going to learn a lot of it. So do come back always to my channel and pay visit and learn something new. And I wish you a good day. Bye. Thank you.